Ladies and gentlemen, whether you like it or not,
Greetings, peasants, it is I, your Empress, and I am here to talk to you about Lunar Eclipsed, an episode from way back in Season 2 that reintroduced us to Princess Luna and gave us the concept of Nightmare Night, which is my favorite holiday, and not just because that's when I was born, technically. There's just such a dark and creepy atmosphere about it that I just can't help but love and embrace. So, let's see how they introduced it, shall we? We begin with Spike in his oddly cannibalistic costume, and Twilight's proudly showing off her costume as...
That one kooky grandpa from Ponyville Retirement Village?
Yeah, this is kind of a running gag in the episode where no pony knows that Twilight is supposed to be dressed up as Star Swirl the Bearded, which is kind of odd given how important it become later in the series. To the point where he has his own festival dedicated to him. I guess Twilight liked him before he was cool, which confirms her as a hipster, and explains her human counterpart's glasses. Anyway, after having to deal with some Nightmare Nighties who are far too adorable for this holiday, and Pinky showing off what a giant cock she is, we get some nice establishing shots of the town. I have to say, I do admire how every pony goes all out with the decorations and costumes. Also, bonus points to Rainbow for scaring every pony with Chekhov's Storm Cloud. And obligatory shot of Ditzy being Ditzy. Remember when she and Carrot being friends was a thing? We then cut over to Sakura, who lets us know what Nightmare Night is all about.
Listen close, my little dears. I'll tell you where you got your fears.
Alright, first, I want to know who built that statue and why. It just seems odd to have a statue of one of your greatest enemies in the middle of the forest. Also, why don't I have a statue? Minions! Make me a statue! Make it 800 feet tall and able to shoot fire! Yes, Empress! And it better be done by the time I'm finished with the review! Now then, go on.
Of Nightmare Night so dark and scary. Of Nightmare Moon, who makes you wary. Every year, we put on a disguise to save ourselves from her searching eyes.
So you're telling me the belief is that Nightmare Moon is so stupid she wouldn't recognize ponies dressed up as other things. Can't imagine why Luna felt so insulted enough to want to take over.
But Nightmare Moon wants just one thing. To gobble up ponies in one quick swing.
So cannibalism does exist in this universe. Suddenly Spike's costume is a lot more terrifying.
Hungrily she soars the sky. If she sees no pony, she passes by. So if she comes and all is clear, Equestria is safe another year.
And she doesn't seem like that much of a threat if she's that easily fooled. It'd be like being scared of Elmer Fudd.
Oh, Miss Sakura, if we wear costumes to hide from Nightmare Moon so she won't gobble us up, how come we still need to give her some of our candy?
A perfect question, my little friend. For Nightmare Moon, you must not offend. Fill up her belly with a treat or two, so she won't return to come eat you!
So they have to dump their candy in front of the statue so that Nightmare Moon won't come eat them. This feels like some sort of scam, but I'm not quite sure on who. Does Sakura take the candy? Do woodland creatures come and eat it? Or does it just sit there and rot for a year? What is the end game here? Well, no time to worry about too much because Luna makes her appearance in the most metal way possible. And the town's ponies grovel at her hooves as they should. Wait, what's going on with that one pony's costume? Is that Quint being eaten by the shark? That raises so many questions I don't even know where to begin. So I'm going to ignore that for now and instead focus on the fact that not even the mayor would kiss Luna's hooves like she should have. And after suffering this clear sign of lack of respect, Luna does the only thing she can.
Very well then. Be that way. We won't even bother with the traditional royal farewell.
Personally, I would have burned the entire town to the ground, but that's just me. No, instead, she goes to bask in the shadow of her former glory and apparently eat all the candy. At least that's what I assumed happened to the rest of that giant pile. And apparently the sugar rush finally motivated her to call upon the righteous fury down on Ponyville that she should have done in the first place. Of course, Twilight has to ruin it by talking her down and convincing her to go torment Fluttershy. Probably because she returned a book late or something. Although Pinkie comes along to ruin that plan.
She stole Fluttershy's voice so she can't scream when she gobbles her up! Yeah!
Fortunately for Ponyville, Applejack's homespun wisdom was enough to calm Luna down again, and get her to join in on some of the games, which led to one of the most infamous lines in the entire series.
Ha-ha! The fun has been doubled!
Haha! A meme has been born! Seriously, that was everywhere in the fandom for a while. In fact, I think it still pops up every now and then. But, just as with Fluttershy, Pinkie comes along to cock things up. It's not like the kid is any better.
Help! My backside has been gobbled!
'Tis a lie! Thy backside is whole and ungobbled, thou ungrateful whelp!
Personally, I think she should have taken a bite out of him. That would have showed him. Instead, she unleashes a legion of spiders upon the town and then does something even worse than trying to block out the sun.
We decree that Nightmare Night shall be cancelled forever!
Now, I'm of two minds on this. On the one hoof, as I said, Nightmare Night is my favorite holiday. On the other...
But I want it to be a zombie next year.
Yes, child, cry. Cry the tears of 1,000 sorrows. Also, how do you know what a zombie is? Again, Twilight goes to talk to Luna and probably stop her from singing a Linkin Park song somewhere. She then tells Pinkie where to stick it and that she needs to apologize to Luna. And given that this is a kid's cartoon, it almost works. But then... Rainbow Dash is the best troll. Although she does have some competition, because after being mounted by Twilight, Pinkie finally realized why she's being such a big cock.
So why do you keep running away and screaming? Sometimes it's just really fun to be scared. Fun?
So yes, destroying a pony's self-esteem and causing mass destruction throughout the town is Pinkie's idea of fun. Are we entirely sure she is not a villain? Apparently, this warped idea of fun is contagious because this was the plan Twilight came up with.
Citizens of Ponyville, you were wise to bring this candy to me. I am pleased with your offering, so pleased that I may just eat it instead of eating you!
So Luna can just change back and forth between a normal self and a Nightmare Moon form? Because I thought Nightmare Moon was what happened when she let her negative emotions get the better of her. There's a lot of this that doesn't add up. Also, what happened to the statue, because it was just there in the previous shot? And how is my statue coming along? We've lost 50 minions already, Empress! And everything's on schedule. Good. Well, again, since this is a kid's cartoon, this plan does work. Nightmare Night gets reinstated. Luna gets to be smug in the fact she has the better festival dedicated to her, and even gets payment on Rainbow Dash in a way that's probably not kid-friendly. And so that was Luna Eclipsed. An episode that laid a surprising amount of groundwork for things that pay off later in the series. And of course, introduced us to the best holiday ever. So, I approve. But I still want to know what's going on with this guy's costume!
And it's so easy when you're evil. This is the life you see. The devil tips his hat to